Hi everyone, and welcome to the Food Safety and Inspection Service live Facebook chat about Thanksgiving food safety. We have an expert from the Food Safety Meat and Poultry Hotline to answer any questions you have about preparing for and actually cooking on the day of Thanksgiving. I know I'm excited. This is my favorite holiday, so hopefully you all have some great questions, and Diane is here to answer all of our Thanksgiving food safety questions.
Well, Amanda, this is a wonderful time to be here to talk about preparing the annual bird. I think oftentimes we don't prepare large pieces of meat throughout the year, so when we're approaching Thanksgiving holidays, then we start to think, ooh, how do we do that? So it's a wonderful time to start thinking about planning ahead, and because we have a week now to get ready for Thanksgiving, and we can plan ahead, making sure that you know what's going to be on your menu, planning your menu, thinking about what foods you already have in the house that you don't need to purchase or what you need to go out and purchase. Also, making sure that your refrigerator is cleaned out, using up those leftovers so that you have plenty of room in your refrigerator should you need room to defrost a turkey. Also, another thing that's really important is make sure you have all the equipment you need, like a roasting pan, cutting boards, but most importantly that you have a food thermometer. And if you don't have one, you have plenty of time to go out and purchase one, and so that you'll know that your turkey has reached a safe minimum internal temperature of 165. Very important piece of equipment.
Well, we have some questions queuing up, as well as some that were sent in from people that couldn't join us live today, probably at work still. So let's jump right in. Michelle asks, holiday meals tend to have so much kitchen activity, food prep and dishes to wash, and sometimes only one sink. Can you talk about the best way and how often to wash hands during all this preparation?
Washing your hands is very important. You need to wash your hands before and after you are handling meat and poultry, and actually any food. Make sure you get them thoroughly clean, and you're supposed to wash your hands for about 20 seconds. And a good way to remember that is singing happy birthday twice. We often tell consumers to wash their hands and sing happy birthday twice, but it's very, very important to wash them both before and after handling any meat or poultry products and any food.
It's an important tip and easy to remember with the happy birthday song.
Right.
Anissa from Colorado Springs asks, how long can food be left out after eating, and what's the best way to cool food in a timely manner for storing?
A very important question. It's important to get those leftovers in the refrigerator as quickly as possible. We always recommend that food not sit out any longer than 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
So get your leftovers, especially during the Thanksgiving meal. We often set all of the food out on a buffet or on the table, and we'll have dinner. And then as soon as dinner's over, get those leftovers back in the refrigerator. As I said, we should not let food sit out longer than 2 hours. And if you're in one of the areas of the country that is warm, say the temperature is above 90 degrees, it really should not sit out longer than 1 hour.
Oh.
So get the leftovers in the refrigerator as quickly as possible in covered containers so that they cool quickly. If you're preparing a large turkey, cut the turkey into smaller pieces. You don't have to slice the breast meat, but cut them into smaller pieces, take off the legs and the wings, and get those into the refrigerator as quickly as possible after you've finished eating. I know we talk to people often, and they'll leave it out on a buffet to snack after, and not a good idea. Get it in the refrigerator.
Now, speaking of large turkeys, how big of a turkey, if I haven't bought one yet, should I buy? I mean, how do you know how much to cook?
When you're going to the grocery store to purchase that turkey, plan on buying about a pound of turkey for every guest that you're having. Now that's raw turkey. Okay. So a lot of weight will be lost as it's cooking. So plan on about a pound of turkey per person. So if you're having 16 guests, then a 16-pound turkey is what you would plan on.
Easy enough to
Now,
remember.
if you want some leftovers, you can get about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds for plenty of leftovers, but plan on 1 pound per person.
Okay. David is asking, I know we should remove stuffing from the turkey before refrigerating, but is it safer to not cook the stuffing in turkey at all?
The safest way to prepare stuffing is in a casserole.
Okay.
And prepare your stuffing, the dry ingredients and the wet ingredients. You can do that the day before when we were talking about planning ahead. You can prepare your wet ingredients and your dry ingredients, keep them separate in the refrigerator, and then just at the last minute, combine them together, put them in a casserole dish, and bake them in the oven at no lower than 325 degrees. And the stuffing is finished cooking when it reaches a temperature of 165 degrees in the center or in the thickest part. So it's important to measure the temperature of the stuffing even when you're cooking it in a casserole dish. If you stuff the turkey, then you have to make sure you follow some guidelines. Again, prepare the wet and dry ingredients ahead if you choose, and then combine them just before you put the stuffing in the turkey. Then stuff the turkey loosely, and you can plan about a 1/2 cup to a cup of stuffing per pound of turkey. Then stuff it loosely, and you can bake it in the oven at 325 degrees or above. Again, critical to take a temperature reading of that stuffing, and the food thermometer in the center of the stuffing should reach 165 degrees.
Wow.
Put the stuffing in just before you're going to cook the turkey, and then once you take the turkey out of the oven, remove the stuffing after you've let the turkey sit about 20 minutes.
Okay.
But then take all of the stuffing out to serve.
Okay, that's great. And for those of us who might not remember all of those numbers, I know I have a hard time with them, we also have a virtual online representative, Karen, who's available 24 hours. You can ask her questions anytime, and you can find her at www.askkaren.gov. Some other questions, speaking of fresh turkeys, let's see. Janet is asking if it's too soon to buy a fresh turkey that she doesn't plan to freeze.
If she's planning on cooking that turkey on Thanksgiving Day, it is definitely too early to buy the fresh turkey. A fresh turkey should be purchased just 1 to 2 days before you're going to cook it. So if you're planning on cooking your Thanksgiving turkey on Thanksgiving Day, you wouldn't want to buy it before Tuesday.
Okay.
And then if you're not planning on if you're not going to cook it then, or something happens, you're invited out to dinner, then you can put that fresh turkey in the freezer. But it's important to just buy a fresh turkey 1 to 2 days ahead of time.
Now, what about freezing? If we have a frozen turkey, I don't know. I probably have one in my freezer somewhere. When should I start defrosting that?
It's important to plan ahead for defrosting a turkey. A turkey will take about a day for every 4 to 5 pounds.
Oh.
Or I should say 24 hours for every 4 to 5 pounds. So if you're buying or planning on serving a 16-pound turkey, you'll want to put that in your refrigerator as early as this Sunday if you're cooking it on Thursday on Thanksgiving. So you'll put it in the refrigerator on Sunday and let it slowly defrost. If it finishes defrosting early, say a day or two before Thanksgiving or before you're going to cook it, that's perfectly fine. A turkey can remain in the refrigerator 1 to 2 days before you're going to cook it after it's finished defrosting. So a 16-pound turkey, again, will take about 3 to 4 days.
Okay, that's good to know. Let's see, what else do we have here? Now, what about leftovers? How long can I keep them? What are some good uses?
Well, leftovers is sometimes the best part of the
Yes.
meal.
Be
And we
buying
don't
that
want to
2
lose
pounds
any
per
of those.
person.
Right. So after 2 hours, get your leftovers in the refrigerator and put them in smaller containers, shallow containers, so that they cool quickly. It's more important to get them in the refrigerator quickly than it is to let them cool down before you put them in the refrigerator. So get your leftovers in the refrigerator as soon as possible. You can keep your leftovers in the refrigerator for 3 to 4 days. If you don't plan on eating all of the leftovers, then put them in the freezer and leave some in the refrigerator to eat right away. But you can freeze them as soon as possible, but 3 to 4 days.
What about Ziploc bags? Is it okay to put sliced meat in a Ziploc bag or some kind of plastic?
Yes, it's perfectly safe to do that. If the bag is intended for food storage, then it's safe to store those foods in the bag.
Okay.
You wouldn't want to use something that's not intended for food, but any storage container intended for food or any plastic bag intended for food is perfectly safe.
Let's see, Anise has another question, again in Colorado Springs. So she's new to high altitude. Is there anything different with cooking a turkey at higher altitudes than sea level?
There are recommendations for cooking turkeys at a high altitude, and there are very specific guidelines for that. And I would recommend that she go to our website, and we have a piece on our website on cooking meat and poultry at high altitudes. When you're cooking meat and poultry at high altitudes, it tends to dry out more quickly. So you need to follow guidelines that are going to help keep that moisture in. And if she goes to the USDA FSIS website or go to Ask Karen, she can get the specific guidelines on how to cook that and how to make sure it's a nice juicy turkey.
Great.
I know it does take a lot longer, so
Definitely something else to budget into your day.
exactly.
Let's see, what other questions do we have in advance? This is an interesting one. My mother always stuffs her turkey the night before. Is that safe?
No.
No. Okay. And part two, I thought I'd let you answer that first.
Okay.
Part two is, and I got up, and she gets up early in the morning to cook the turkey at lower temperatures through the night.
It's very important to not cook at low temperatures. Turkeys cook rather quickly, and at least they cook much quicker than they used to. So we recommend getting up at your regular time in the morning, and depending upon when you're going to have your Thanksgiving meal, that'll determine how long a turkey will take to cook. If it's going to be an unstuffed turkey, a turkey between 14 and 18 pounds is going to take about 3 3/4 hours to 4 hours to cook. So you don't need to get up in the middle of the night to do that. And the temperature of the oven should be no lower than 325 degrees. I know years and years ago people used to love to cook their turkey at like 250 degrees, and that's very unsafe. It shouldn't be anything lower than 325 degrees. Now, if that turkey that's 14 to 18 pounds, that's going to take 3 3/4 hours to 4 hours, if you stuff it, it needs to take a little longer, and that would be about 4 to 4 1/4 hours. Okay. So a stuffed turkey does need to take a little longer to cook. But again, make sure that it reaches a safe minimum internal temperature of 165 degrees on the thermometer. And you want to check the turkey in several places. You want to check it in the thigh, down in the deepest part between the leg and the breast, in the wing joint, in the breast, and if it's stuffed, in the stuffing.
Okay.
And all of those places should reach a safe minimum internal temperature of 165 degrees. We know some people like it cooked a little higher than that, and that's personal choice. But it should reach a safe minimum internal temperature of 165.
Okay. Now, what about set time or rest time after it's roasted?
When you take the turkey out of the oven, you want to let it sit for about 20 minutes. This allows the juices to be reabsorbed and allows the meat to cool down slightly. So then after about 20 minutes, remove the turkey from the roasting pan and put it on a platter that you can use to carve it. Remove the stuffing, and that's a very important point, to make sure you take the stuffing out if you've stuffed it. And then you can carve the turkey. Or some people like to take the whole turkey to the Thanksgiving table and dinner table and do a presentation, and that's very, very attractive. But it's important to make sure it rests for about 20 minutes.
Good. Now, I like to fry my turkeys. I don't know, something about the crisp skin just does it for me. Are there any different cooking tips for food safety when you fry?
There are. Deep fat frying has become extremely popular for cooking the turkey. And there are some points that we want to make sure people know so that they do it safely. First of all, pick a location that isn't near the house or near a structure, say a cement driveway or somewhere where nothing around it could catch on fire should some oil come over the top. Make sure that you plan ahead, and knowing the turkey, the size of the turkey, put it in the pot and pour water in, and up to the level of where you want the oil. Then remove the turkey, and the turkey should be in the original wrapping. Take the turkey out, and that is how much oil you're going to need. You can measure the water, and that's how much oil you'll need for frying it. Then make sure the turkey is defrosted. You do not want to deep fat fry a frozen turkey when it completely thawed.
Right.
That's very important. And take it out of the wrapper, wipe it, dry it off, and don't stuff it. That's another thing that's important. The oil should reach about 350 degrees. And then you want about 3 to 5 minutes per pound for that turkey. Once you think it's done, take the turkey out, lift it out, and take a temperature reading in various locations, those 3 locations. Make sure it's reached a minimum temperature of 165. Yes. That's right. And then if it has, fine. If it hasn't, you can lower it back in and finish cooking.
Now, with stuffing, Sabrina's asking, how long should you let the stuffing cook for in order to reach 165? Will it typically finish ahead of the turkey, or what's the timing?
Yes, it'll take, if you're cooking it in a casserole, I think that's what she means.
Okay.
The stuffing should be put in maybe about an hour ahead. It all depends on how much you have.
Sure.
How large the casserole dish is, how thick the stuffing is in the casserole dish. And if you're baking at 325, it'll take a little longer than if you've got your oven set at 350 or 375. But you can approximate about an hour.
Okay. Let's see, what else? Lots of questions about leftovers. I see everybody is excited about those turkey sandwiches. Karen asks, can leftovers be frozen the day after Thanksgiving if kept in the refrigerator overnight?
They absolutely can. You can put your leftovers in the refrigerator, because a lot of people like to then have leftovers a couple of hours after the meal or make a nice turkey sandwich.
Yeah.
And you can leave some leftovers in the refrigerator overnight, and then put them in the freezer, what you have left, or keep a portion out to eat then and freeze the remaining.
Good.
And you can keep leftovers in the freezer for 3 to 4 months.
Oh, well, that's good.
And in the refrigerator for 3 to 4 days. I don't remember if we said that, but
3 to 4 days, if it lasts that long in my
that's
household. Let's see. Another question we received in advance. I know I should use a thermometer while roasting a turkey. Where should I put the thermometer when it's in the oven?
If you want to make sure that you have a thermometer that can go into the oven.
Okay.
This is a dial thermometer, and it's intended to be put into the meat, into the turkey, and put into the oven. There are other types of thermometers, and we have one right here. This is an instant read dial thermometer, and this type of thermometer can be put into the turkey only when you've pulled the turkey out to check the temperature.
Okay.
These are not intended to stay in the oven. There are also digital thermometers, and you can put those, use those.
Like one of these?
Yeah, exactly. And you can put that in the turkey when it's outside of the oven as well. But the only type that really should be in the turkey in the oven are the dial type thermometers.
Now, what about, there's some plastic things that come in the turkey sometime, the pop-up readers, are those accurate?
They are. A pop-up timer is accurate generally within 1 to 2 degrees, but we do always recommend that you check with a regular thermometer, regular food thermometer, in several places to be assured that it has reached the safe temperature.
Yeah, definitely better to be safe on that end.
But they are generally very accurate.
Good. And for those of us that are just joining us, we do have a ton of resources available online. If you've been following our turkey tweets on Twitter, that's the twitter.com/USDA food safety. as well as videos that can help give you lots of tips and tricks from meal preparation through the actual day of and then leftovers afterwards. And that's youtube.com/USDA Food Safety. And we even have some nice American Sign Language videos for other folks as well. You can also find podcasts and other information on our website, and I put that in the chat window, but it's fsis.usda.gov. And you can always call our fine folks at the Meat and Poultry Hotline, like Diane, and that's 1-888-MP Hotline. And we also have a lot of information available in Spanish. So lots of resources for people to check out after today's chat.
And if we'll be open on Thanksgiving Day from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and both in English and Spanish. We'll have people there that can answer questions in English and in Spanish.
Good. Let's see. What else do we have? I bought a new electric roaster this year. Will it take the same amount of time to cook as in the oven?
You know, electric roasters are becoming extremely popular, and we are getting many questions about electric roasters. They're just as the same as if you were cooking in your oven. You use the same temperature of 325 degrees or above, and it's a good thing to check the manufacturer's instructions. See what's the maximum size turkey that they recommend for the electric roaster. Sometimes it's like 16 pounds or below, but they are the exact same as if you were cooking in a conventional oven. It's just the size that may vary a little. You may not be able to use as large a turkey or put as large a turkey in that as you would the conventional oven.
Okay. What are some of the most popular questions you've been getting this year? I'm sure you hear a lot of interesting questions from consumers about food safety.
Well, you know, we're getting a lot of questions this year about brining turkeys.
Okay.
People are trying to brine their turkey and enjoying it, I think. They tend to impart a flavor, and they tend to make the turkey juicier, and it makes the turkey more tender.
Okay.
So the best way to do to brine their turkey is to make sure you brine it in the oven. Put it in a food-grade plastic bag, and then you make a solution of about 3/4 of a cup of salt to a gallon of water, and then pour that over the turkey. You want to make sure that you use a defrosted turkey. Don't start brining a turkey that's frozen.
Right.
And put it in the refrigerator. It can be in there for overnight or up to 2 days. So you can start brining your turkeys. If you're going to brine it and cook it on Thursday, you can start brining it on Tuesday in the refrigerator. And then let all the brining solution out. And you can stuff a brined turkey and cook it in the oven as you would any other turkey. But brining is becoming very, very popular.
Good. Now let's see here. Is it dangerous to roast a turkey in a disposable aluminum pan?
Absolutely not.
No?
Disposable pans are designed for cooking a turkey. If it's sold with the intention or for the purpose of roasting meat or any food, then it's perfectly safe to use in one of these foil pans. They become very popular, and they're disposable, and often they're used, but it's perfectly safe to use those. The important thing you want to remember is if a piece of equipment is intended to be used with food, then it's safe to use that.
Okay. We've talked a lot about cooking and storing, these types of things. What about the actual preparation? What should people know about, cutting boards, and when I'm chopping up my carrots to roast and potatoes with the raw turkey? I mean, what should we keep in mind?
There are 4 basic things that you need to remember. To keep things clean, keep things clean. To separate, keep your raw foods like your turkey separated and use 2 separate cutting boards even. Keep one cutting board for raw meat and poultry, and the other for, say, bread or when you're preparing a salad. You don't want the raw juices from meat and poultry to come in contact with foods that are not going to be cooked or further cooked. So it's important to use 2 separate cutting boards. That's separate. Cook is the third of the 4 points. And make sure you use a food thermometer, cook to safe temperatures, safe internal temperatures. And the 4th thing is chill. Make sure you get leftovers in the refrigerator as quickly as possible. So clean, separate, cook, and chill.
Those are easy enough to remember, I think. Let's see, well, we had another question about the pop-up thermometers, which are generally accurate within 1 to 2 degrees, you said? Okay.
That's correct.
Let's see. I think that's about it for today. I think as the weekend approaches, people will probably be having Thanksgiving on their mind a little bit more. But again, we do have a ton of resources online. You can ask Karen at any time, www.askkaren.gov, and call our meat and poultry hotline, and maybe you'll get Diane and she can help you with your questions. Thank you so much, and we hope you all have a safe and happy holiday.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays.